Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive? Today we're going deep into medical LLMs,
Large language models are making huge waves in healthcare,
and we've got a whole stack of research papers to dig into.
covering all sorts of stuff, like how to make LLMs better at understanding medical language,
Oh, and predicting surgical procedures.
even giving personalized sleep advice.
Seriously, it's wild.
We've got a lot to cover today, lots of brilliant researchers behind this work.
Yeah, giving credit where credit's due for sure. Our goal is to break down the key findings from all these papers.
And explore what it all means for the future of medicine.
So should we jump right in?
Let's do it. We can start by looking at a paper that tackles a fundamental problem.
Okay, what's that?
Getting these powerful LLMs to understand the nuances of medical language.
Right, because you can't just ask any old AI about a specific medical condition, can you?
Nope, not really. It's like asking your mechanic to bake a cake. They might be great at fixing cars, but it's not their area of expertise.
Exactly. So, which paper are we looking at?
This one is called BioMistral-NLU, and the authors are Yujuan Velvin Fu,
Okay,
Giridhar Kaushik Ramachandran,
got it.
Namu Park, Kevin Lybarger,
Okay.
Fei Xia, Ozlem Uzuner,
Mm.
and last but not least, Meliha Yetisgen.
Wow, that's a lot of names.
It is, and they all work together on this really interesting research where they essentially gave an LLM a medical education.
So instead of just feeding it a dictionary of medical terms, they actually taught it to understand the complexity of medical language.
Exactly. They trained it on tons of different tasks across a range of medical specialties.
And what did they find?
Well, one really interesting finding was that training on a variety of tasks actually made the LM better at generalizing.
You mean like adapting to new medical situations?
That's it. Even if they were only using the same amount of data.
It's like cross-training for the AI's brain, right?
Exactly. The more diverse its training, the better it can adapt to new challenges.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about medical language. What about something everyone can relate to, like sleep?
Ah, yes. Sleep. Everyone wants better sleep, right?
Absolutely. But getting personalized advice often means seeing a sleep specialist.
Which isn't always easy or accessible.
Right. So what's the solution?
Well, some researchers are trying to make personalized sleep advice accessible using AI.
Interesting. Which paper is that?
It's called Sleep Coat,
Okay.
and the authors are Haonan Wang,
Mm.
Xiaomeng Li, and Xiaomeng Li.
Okay, got it.
Their idea is to use AI to make personalized sleep advice available to anyone without needing those massive, energy-hungry LLMs.
So how did they manage to create a smaller, more efficient AI without sacrificing its ability to provide good advice?
They use a technique called distillation.
Distillation.
Yeah, it's kind of like, imagine a master chef teaching their best recipes to a talented home cook.
Okay, I'm following you.
The smaller model learns the essence of the larger one's knowledge, becoming a more compact expert.
So it's like having your own pocket-sized AI sleep coach.
Exactly.
Pretty cool, huh? That is really cool. And speaking of accessibility, what about understanding these medical LLMs, especially when they're working with both text and images like X-rays or scans?
Right, that's a big challenge. Doctors need to be able to understand how an AI reaches a diagnosis, not just accept it blindly.
It's not enough for it to just say, this X-ray shows signs of pneumonia.
Exactly, we need to know why it thinks that.
Okay, so which paper tackled this challenge?
There's one called Interpretable Bilingual Multimodal Large Language Model for Diverse Biomedical Tasks.
Wow, that's quite a title.
It is a mouthful, but it basically sums up what they're trying to achieve, making medical AI more transparent and understandable.
And who are the brilliant minds behind this research?
Okay, get ready for another list of names. Lehan Wang, Haonan Wang.
Okay, 2 Wangs so far.
Yes. Then we have Honglong Yang, Jiaji Mao, Zehong Yang,
Okay, I'm keeping track.
Jun Shen, and Xiaomeng Li.
Wow, they must have had some interesting team meetings with all those researchers.
I bet. But their research is really fascinating. They focused on creating an LLM that could analyze both images and text, but in a way that mimics how a human doctor would examine a patient.
So instead of just saying pneumonia, it would actually point to the specific areas on the X-ray that raised concerns.
Exactly. They taught the AI to highlight the most relevant regions of an image, making its decision-making process much more transparent.
That's amazing. It's like it's showing its work so the doctor can understand its reasoning.
Right. That's really important for building trust and confidence in these AI systems.
Absolutely. And it looks like they went a step further. Their model, MedRegA, is bilingual. It works in both English and Chinese.
Yes, that's huge for making medical AI more accessible worldwide.
It's like they're breaking down language barriers in healthcare.
Which is essential if we want these AI systems to truly benefit everyone.
This is all so cool, but man, my brain is working overtime trying to keep up with all these papers.
It's a lot to take in, for sure, but you're doing a great job keeping up. And we're just getting started.
More.
Don't worry, it's fascinating stuff. Next up, we have a paper that combines different types of medical data to get a more complete picture of a patient's health.
Ooh, I like where this is going. Data integration. Tell me more.
So this one's called MORE, and it focuses on integrating X-rays, ECGs, and medical reports.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Who are the researchers behind this one?
The authors are Semraja Thapa, Kaushik Sudhankar Bhattacharjee,
Okay, I'm writing this down.
and Wei.
Got it. And how does this Moore system actually work? Does it just mash all the data together?
Not quite. They use a technique called contrastive learning to find patterns and connections between these different data sources.
Contrastive learning. Can you explain that in a way that even I can understand?
Sure. Think of it like this. Imagine you're trying to learn a new language.
Okay, I can do that.
If you only focus on individual words, it's hard to understand what's being said, right?
Yeah, you need context.
Exactly. You need to see how those words relate to each other in sentences and paragraphs to get the full meaning.
So Moore is basically doing the same thing, but with medical data.
Exactly. It's finding those hidden connections between seemingly separate pieces of information to give doctors a more holistic view of the patient's condition.
It's like having an AI detective that can piece together clues from different sources to solve a medical mystery.
That's a great analogy.
Okay, so this is all incredibly promising. But what about the potential risks? You know, like those AI hallucinations we hear about.
Ah, yes, that's a valid concern. Accuracy is paramount in medicine, so we can't have AI systems making stuff up.
Especially when it comes to something as serious as healthcare.
Absolutely. So how do we prevent those hallucinations? Well, there's a paper that addresses this directly.
Kofi, what's it called?
Mitigating hallucinations of large language models in medical information extraction via contrastive decoding.
Wow, it's very specific. And I'm guessing it has a long list of authors too.
You bet. We have Durangshu, Zeheng Zhang, Zehong Zhu,
Okay.
Zheng Qilin, Qidong Liu, Xian Wu, Tong Xu, Jiangyu Zhou, Yefeng Zheng, and last but not least, Enhong Chen.
Okay, I think I got them all down. What was their main goal?
Their goal was to ensure that these AI systems stick to the facts, especially when they're extracting information from medical records.
So instead of letting the AI go on a wild goose chase, they're teaching it to be more reliable and evidence-based.
Exactly. They're refining the decoding process, which is how the LLM generates its output.
So they're essentially giving it a built-in fact checker.
You could say that. It's all about minimizing the chances of the AI hallucinating information.
That's reassuring to hear. It seems like a lot of work is going into making these LLMs more trustworthy.
Absolutely. It's not just about creating powerful AI. It's about ensuring it's used responsibly and ethically.
Okay, this is all mind-blowing stuff. But now I'm really curious, are these medical LLMs actually being used in real-world healthcare settings yet?
There are some emerging applications, but it's still early days.
Such as?
Well, one really exciting area is in surgical training and planning. Imagine an AI that can predict what will happen next during a surgery.
Whoa, that's straight out of a sci-fi movie.
I know, right?
Which paper are we talking about here?
It's called Visage, and the authors are Yusuf Yagane, Rahmadio Lazordi,
Yeah.
Amir Shamseddin, Emin Dari,
Got it.
Yash Thurani, and Nasir Nawab Azad Farshad.
Wow, another impressive team. What's so special about their approach?
Their model uses something called action graphs to understand the steps and flow of a surgical procedure.
So it's not just watching a surgery happen, it's actually learning the logic and sequence of events.
Precisely. And by combining that knowledge with powerful AI models, Visage can actually predict what's going to happen next in a surgical video.
It's like having a surgical roadmap. What are the potential benefits of this kind of technology?
It could revolutionize how surgeons are trained, allowing them to practice complex procedures in a virtual environment before ever stepping foot in the operating room.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like a super advanced surgical simulator.
Exactly. And not just for training, but also for real-time guidance during surgery.
So it could help surgeons avoid complications and improve patient safety.
Yes. The potential is huge.
It really is incredible to see how far medical LLMs have come in such a short time.
It is remarkable progress, isn't it? And speaking of pushing boundaries, let's move from the operating room to the world of athletics.
Oh, this should be interesting. Are we talking about robot athletes now?
Not quite robots, but AI that can detect subtle signs of doping in athletes.
Wow, seriously?
Yeah. The paper is called Incorporating Metabolic Information into LLMs for Anomaly Detection in Clinical Time Series.
And the authors?
Max Richard Raman, Ruxuan Liu, and Wolfgang Mass.
Okay, what's the basic idea here?
Instead of just looking for banned substances, this AI analyzes an athlete's metabolism to find evidence of performance enhancement.
So it can spot the metabolic fingerprints of doping, even if the substances themselves are undetectable.
Exactly. It's a whole new level of anti-doping technology.
That's amazing. It's like having an AI detector for sports world.
Right. Ensuring fairness and a level playing field.
I love it. From sleep advice to surgery to sports, the potential applications of medical LLMs seem endless.
It's a truly exciting field with so much potential to transform healthcare. But as we've seen, it's important to approach these advancements with caution, ensuring responsible and ethical development.
You're right. It's all about finding that balance between innovation and ethical considerations.
Exactly. We need to celebrate the incredible possibilities while acknowledging the potential risks.
Well said. This has been such a fascinating conversation. We've learned about some groundbreaking research and met so many brilliant minds working in this field.
It's been a pleasure sharing these insights with you, and there's still so much more to explore.
I can't wait. But for now, I think my brain needs a little break from all this amazing information.
I hear you. It's a lot to process.
So, as we wrap up this first part of our deep dive, what's the key message you'd like to leave our listeners with?
I think the biggest takeaway is that the future of medicine isn't just about developing AI.
It's about
Making sure that AI serves humanity in the best way possible. And that's a collaborative effort that involves all of us.
So you're saying that we all have a role to play in shaping how these technologies are developed and used.
Absolutely. The more we understand about these advancements, the better equipped we'll be to navigate the future of healthcare.
You're absolutely right. So to all our listeners out there, stay curious, stay engaged, and keep those brains working.
We'll be back soon with more insights from the world of medical LLMs. Until then, keep exploring.
See you next time.